Okay, welcome back to the Automated TV. I am your host, Tak Lo, and this is our new broadcast for today. So, and hopefully everybody had a great weekend. I had a great weekend myself. Did a lot of rugby. Did finish the season actually with the rugby season with the Flying Kookaries. I also watched the Champions League final with Arsenal, and somewhat disappointed that Arsenal lost. But it was a great final. Still disappointed. I don't like Parisians temporarily for now, but it is what it is. And we had a good season. So we just have to keep back and keep winning our next games and next rounds, and we'll go back to the Champions League finals. Off we go. Okay, first, we're going to talk about the newsletter. Claude Opus 4.8 is here, and it brought hundreds of little friends. As you're having this coffee with Luckin, it's a jasmine Americano. Sorry, lemon Americano. Absolutely brilliant. Actually, this is really good. Before I kind of get started as well, a couple of things. Thank you for all the subscribers. We've got 4 from overnight from the last podcast, which is absolutely fantastic. Again, we're upping the quality. You'll see more and more developments every single day. We've got some new exciting kind of equipment coming. I can't wait for it to come on Taobao, and you'll see. But it will be good. It will hopefully improve all the lighting and everything. So waiting on that. We also have a new stand. So rather looking at you in the camera, kind of switching and then back and forth. So again, we're adding more and more improvements, and you will see, because ultimately we want the best viewing relationship and viewing experience for you. So let's get started. So there's a fresh 3-letter acronym over AI Twitter, research papers, and startup pitch decks at an alarming speed. Now, this 3-letter acronym is called RSI, short for Recursive Self-Improvement, and is a wildest concept in tech right now. It refers to an AI system that can continuously upgrade itself, completely eliminating the need for us as human beings. So a new wave of elite AI labs have started baking RSI directly into their roadmaps. So Andrew Karpathy, who is actually famous for his work at Tesla and OpenAI, and who's now actually at Anthropic, has been publicly building a project called Auto Research. He's using a swarm of AI agents to train models on small tasks, regularly posting updates on X and sharing the code publicly on GitHub. Startup adoption, founded by Google and Cohere alumni Sarah Hooker, has just launched a similar tool called Auto Scientist, as well, as was designed to automate the process of training frontier AI models from the ground up. This very founder, Dor Shin, made major waves when her self-trained machine learning agent won 28 models at a Kaggle competition as well. So once these AI systems can manage the upgrade cycle better than humans, the process becomes a completely closed loop. That's essentially what agents are doing when, for example, OpenClaw, when they take over your computer, it becomes a closed loop. It can become a closed loop. Correction. That's kind of where there were some of the difficulties and one of the challenges. It can become a closed loop. But right now, I guess what this is saying is that it could be a complete closed loop. Now, however, Google CEO Sundar Pichai acknowledged in a recent podcast interview that while the industry is making steady progress, the kind of sci-fi RSI people dramatically describe represents a whole new next level acceleration. Meaning we're not simply there yet. And let's see, RSI is incredibly real. And is classic AI energy, but whether it's real or not, or ready or not, we shall see. And I agree with that as well. I think that's really kind of the holy grail, if you will, of AI. But then I think by limiting humans in the loop, not decreases our need for a job, but I think there's still a lot of things that, we don't need AI to completely take over. In fact, I would argue that we shouldn't rely on that. So even though there's a maximization effort, there's a lot of effort to push us straight through directly to AI without humans in the loop. I do recognize to push that actually that is still incredibly important, and to have humans in the loop is an incredibly important thing, especially since we're living in modern society, if you will, right? For example, if I take this cup of coffee, which I'll have another taste of, and the AI does not make a suitable cup of coffee, what am I going to say no to the AI? Would I not like the AI to do that? Would I complain to the AI? Well, look, maybe, and it'll be fine. But then ultimately, I think people want to interact. I mean, if you think about customer service calls, right? One of the reasons why you like customer service calls and why we're so frustrated about customer service calls right now is the fact that when you complain, you can't really complain. You don't know which buttons to press. You press this button, it goes to somewhere else. You go to press that button, it goes to somewhere else. And there's no, until you fully reach a human and that frustration, you want a human because you want to vent your frustration. That's ultimately what it's about. And I think if you don't have that human in loop, it's there. I know, right? There's still some interfaces, and I can see LMs being incredibly good at customer service, but still, you want to look at somebody in the eye. I think that's ultimately what the human experience is about. And so, I don't know. I believe in oversight. I think it's incredibly useful, and as a technologist, I think this is great. But that's just not. I don't think that's necessary yet. So I'm glad someone's pushing the envelope and pushing it up there and pushing it forward. But whether we're really there as a society to need it and to want it and to leverage it, I don't think so. Okay, next section. Anthropic dropped a Claude Opus 4.8 unexpectedly soon. So just 41 days after Opus 4.7 landed, Anthropic dropped Claude Opus 4.8 on May 28th, just before the weekend. Let's see. For context, the current Sonnet and Haiku models are 3 and 7 months old, respectively. So something might have a lot to do with the inter's lack of chill. Opus 4.7 received noticeably chilly reception, with users publicly calling the release disappointing across X and LinkedIn. And then there's intense pressure from OpenAI's Codex and Google's Gemini Flash. And so what actually changed? The biggest upgrade, according to our reporting, is honesty. Opus 4.8 is designed to be way better at admitting when it does not know something, flagging shaky inputs and uncertain outputs rather than just winging it like an unprepared student. Now that's pretty interesting. And I'm looking at it as well. Alongside the new model, Anthropic launched dynamic workflow in a research preview. Think of it like a boss AI that can command hundreds of small AI helpers, small AI agents, all working the same time on one giant task. We have to talk about the forbidden fruit. Anthropic is still keeping its most powerful Mythos model locked away after some pretty serious cybersecurity concerns surfaced during a preview last month. Okay, interesting. So I haven't tried the new model, not really an Anthropic user, so I can get it. That's kind of not me. That's not my thing. And so it is what it is there. I'd love to kind of hear in the comment section, what do you think of the new model? Anybody that's watching this. For me, I think the honesty portion is pretty interesting, right? For it to admit that it doesn't know anything. One of my biggest gripes with AI right now is the fact that it just kind of gives you a very confident answer. Whether you actually like that confidence or not, it just gives you a confidence answer. And when you do that, you think that is right. I'm old and wise enough to know that AI is not always right. So I double checked all the sources and double checked the citations and the thinking behind it. But if you don't check, that's not a good thing. You definitely need to. I train my kids to think about it and to question the resources and the sources and the citations. But you should be doing it as well. But I do think that AI that admits or quite unsure, a little bit unsure, is good because it becomes more human. On the other hand, but becoming more like that, more human, you neglect to check it because you just kind of trust it anyway. So I do think ultimately it's a good thing for the technology for it to admit that it's not sure of something. But the fact is always double check your sources. So ultimately, this model seems like it's a little more human. Again, if you've used it, let us know in the comment section below. All right, next section. Oh, this coffee is so good. It's so good. It's actually not that sweet. There's a subtle lemon flavor. I love it. Okay, around the AI block, medieval secrets is being revealed by AI. How to run a local AI chatbot on your iPhone. I've noticed a lot of people are doing that anyway, so which is absolutely pretty cool. sneak peek at new Siri app reveals Apple's plans to take on ChatGPT and more. Siri's been interesting. I've been playing around with Siri for years. And at one point, they were going to integrate with OpenAI. Then they were going to do Gemini. I wonder what they're going to do now. They're seriously behind, but you never can count off Apple, right? And Apple just has that locked ecosystem, just like Google. So it is pretty interesting. Google Anthropic reaches valuation of $965 billion, beating OpenAI to become the world's most valuable AI firm. That's the thing with valuations of OpenAI and Anthropic. And even SpaceX, I think it's almost ridiculous. I mean, it's great. You see a lot of valuations on the internet. You see the employees being rich, but there's a lot of tax implications as well. So I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. That's my view, honestly. So interesting, cool. More power to Anthropic. Just like gold and oil will soon be able to trade AI token futures. That's kind of interesting. I know people are already doing AI tokens and being able to manipulate and try different tokens. I think it's a good thing. And being able to have access to one token and have access to lots of AI models and lots of different AI models, I think it's incredibly clever. So trading AI token futures, interesting view on things as well. Microsoft debuts a more buttoned up look for Copilot. Not my thing with Microsoft, but some people will use it. Google AI Mode and AI overviews add preferred sources and new carousel. Always good to have actually new sources and to let you know actually what the sources are. Sesame, the conversational AI startup from the Oculus founders, launches an iOS app. YouTube adds new podcast features, including AI recommendation and auto speed. Again, I think we're on YouTube a lot. I get YouTube. We understand YouTube. New podcast features is always great. AI recommendations is great as well. Auto speed is pretty interesting. Let's take a look at what that is. And founder of French AI startup Mistral pushes back against Pope's criticism of AI use in warfare. Let's take a look at actually what Mistral is saying against Pope's criticism. So the founder of French AI startup Mistral on Thursday pushed back against criticism from the Pope over the use of AI in warfare, saying Europe must be able to protect itself as rivals deploy the technology. We're all for peace, but if you look at our rivals and adversaries in the world, they're using AI. As long as we have adversaries that are threatening, we do need to have our own capabilities. Mistral CEO and co-founder Arthur Mensch said. I think Pope Leo did say that it should not be using AI. I'm trying to recall. So Pope Leo did say using AI for military is not a good thing. And so that's a fair point, right? Because what Arthur is saying is that, look, basically what he's saying, if the US is using, we have to use it as well. So I can get where he's coming from. So as long as they use it, we have to use it. And to be fair, everyone's using it, right? All militaries are using it. You're naive if you think that that's not true. So I get that. That's 100%. And you know what? I'm not disagreeing with the Pope either. Well, how would be disagreeing with the Pope? I mean, it is the Pope after all. But having said that, the Pope lives in a stratosphere where it's about morals, right? And so I think he's encouraging less war. Obviously, he's the Pope. More peace. But practically speaking, if one military does use AI, everybody else will. So I get that as well. It makes a lot of sense. Again, not going against what the Pope is saying, far be it from me to do that. But I do think that what Arthur said is correct. And that's practicality speaking, that's really what's there, what's needed on the ground. The YouTube adds new podcast features and AI recommendations. Let's take a look. And let's see, it's trying to compete with streaming giant Netflix, which is heavily investing in video podcasts, which makes a lot of sense. I think look, everyone's doing this. YouTube has a lead because it has a lot of content, but it needs to keep on innovating there. I want to know about this auto speed feature. Auto speed feature designed to make listening more efficient by intelligently adjusting playback speed during slower speech or information-dense segments, creating a more streamlined experience without sacrificing comprehension. Interesting. That's usually not, I mean, I wouldn't like that to happen. I want you to see this podcast and to be able to, speed is actually how I speak is one of the ways that sets me apart, I think, from other podcasters and other announcers. The speed, the pace. And if you change my pacing, I'm not a big fan. As a creator, it's not the way I would like it. I think pacing is part of the way I do things. It's part of the way I speak. It's part of the way I deliver. It's part of my delivery. And if you change that to aid your comprehension, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think that's part and parcel of how I speak, the way I speak, and part of my nature. And so if you change it, I'm not the biggest fan of it. You can change it manually if you like and keep it consistent, but to speed up certain segments, I'm not a big fan as one of the creators. So let me take a look at the other piece, plots, the medieval secrets being revealed by AI, plots, love letters, and remedies. So deep in the archives of the Vatican Library, a mysterious handwritten book scrawled with strange symbols had lain unread for more than 400 years, known as the Borg cipher. The Borg kind of gives me the Star Trek ideas. The 408-page long manuscript is mostly incomprehensible, using a few obscure symbols with few Roman letters and front page written in Arabic. There's no known key. Well, fantastic. And so AI is now solving that. Again, this is great. This is what AI is for. Awesome. I wonder what it says though. Let's take a look. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, okay. It doesn't describe what this is actually saying, this piece is saying, but this was saying that there was a letter from, let's see. There was a letter, and one recent cipher to do this was a collection of coded letters that were found to have been written by Mary, Queen of Scots. During her long imprisonment in England, they revealed her involvement in plots to regain her throne and her tense relation with her son James VI of Scotland and future King James I of England. Great. This is what AI should be doing. So I think that's absolutely awesome. And this is great and what AI should be used for going forward. Okay, next section. All right. So, oh yeah, this is an exciting new kind of section. This is the section I've been talking to you about basically we have AI video tutorials. We believe that video is better. Sorry, give me 1 second. AI is definitely better. Videos are definitely better because you just see more of what's going on, right? And you can follow it. And so we're saying that we want to basically give you these AI tutorials section. And so what you can expect, we're completely stripping away the boring academic fluff and useless tech jargon to bring you highly practical step-by-step videos. So we've got these videos, and every single time when we have this section, we're going to actually have these videos and you can follow through so you can see rather than just reading it. So the first one we've got is control your desktop from your phone using Claude. We've got another one, give me 13 minutes. I'll teach you 80% of Notebook LM. So definitely let us know what you think in the comment section, how you like these videos, whether you like this section, whether you like these videos or not, let us know. That's very important. But look, videos is really kind of the new medium, right? If it weren't the medium, du jour 5 years ago, right? Everyone sees video, bandwidth is easy now. Everyone wants to consume via video. So as we are doing right now as well. So definitely this is what we're trying to do. Let us know what you think and hopefully you enjoy it. Okay, next section. We're going to do training tools. We're still going to have the training tools. For the home improvers, we've got Outdoor Bright, lets you snap a photo of your messy backyard and watch this AI instantly render photorealistic landscaping pools and gardens. It's a faster way to test drive a renovation before you touch a shovel. I've done stuff like this for actually home building. It's a bit rough. The one that I used, I think it was called Builder. It was a bit rough, but this is absolutely useful. That type of stuff. For the AI marketer, Zero Rank AI is essential for brands. It tracks how often you mention AI search, like Perplexity or ChatGPT. This would actually be pretty interesting for your own personal brand. In fact, let me take a look later on. For the global students, Stu.Doku is a massive community library that gives you access to millions of shared study guides, lecture notes, and practice exams for top universities. Pretty cool for global students. In fact, I'm going to send this over to my wife or my kids. And for the productivity architects, Goblin Tools is designed for the overwhelm. This collection of tiny AI tools breaks down massive tasks into manageable steps. I'm going to play around with zero rank, and let me actually try my website. In fact, it's analyzing right now. So let's see. It's analyzing, querying AI platforms, connecting AI platforms, analyzing brand visibility. Yep. It's got the Tableau appears to be the personal brand domain of Tableau, focused on teaching an AI-driven curriculum rather than large product software. Small-scale AI education consultant present, serving people in business interested in applied AI. Yeah, that's actually pretty correct. Pretty good. Zero rank. I like it. Give it a thumbs up. Okay, next section. AI workout of the day. Generate winning copy variants with AI. Struggling to figure out which version of a copy I should connect with the audience. Don't guess. Test, as you should always be doing. This prompt turns AI into your personal direct response copy expert, generating multiple high-impact copy variants. I'll explain why each one works. And so basically, you take this thing, you take this prompt, describe your product service, set a clear goal, and then you can actually get copy. Oh, okay. So you give it the direction, you give it what you want, you give it kind of your background, and it goes. Prompts are always great for this. AI is really, really good for this type of stuff. So 100% agree with this type of thing. As always, though, when you want to do something with copy, always don't fully utilize AI. Insert a little bit about yourself and what you have and what you enjoy in there. Don't let just AI create everything, because it just gives you that human touch that I think is incredibly important in the age of AI. People see through AI now, and AI written stuff, 100% AI written stuff. So add something in there that's personal and that's you, and don't let that have AI touch it at all. And it could be 1 or 2 sentences. Usually that's what I do anyway. It's just 1 or 2 sentences added in there that's just entirely constructed by myself without any AI, but it just gives it that personal flavor. And I think that's just a lot more impactful. And I think that's a lot more powerful because it conveys the humanity. Okay, hopefully you enjoyed our broadcast today and the episode. Again, thank you for all the new subscribers. It's absolutely fantastic. We'll be making more and more adjustments. If you have any comments or thoughts on how this broadcast went, whether you like the new kind of coffee cup drinking as if we're sitting together and I'm broadcasting the news to you, please let us know in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next broadcast.